In this video, we're talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of moving to Chicago, Illinois, and we're getting into it right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Evan Boros and this is Chicagoland Living. If this is your first time checking out my channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living or moving to the Chicago area, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the little bell so you get a notification every time I do a new video. I'm a licensed broker here in the state of Illinois and I would love to help you with your real estate needs. So if you're thinking about moving or relocating anywhere near Chicago, make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. However you want to get a hold of me, I've got your back when moving to the Chicagoland area. I love living in the Chicago metropolitan area, but it is not all sunshine and rainbows. I'm giving you 4 huge pros and 4 major cons of living here that you need to know about. Starting with pro number 1, there is so much to do here. The amount of concerts and festivals are endless. You could book up your entire summer with these events alone. Hit up concerts like Lollapalooza, the Chicago Blues Fest, and Pitchfork, or check out the Air and Water Show, the Taste of Chicago, and the Auto Show. For sports fans, there is always a game to catch. Chicago is home to teams like the Cubs, Sox, Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks, Wolves, the Fire, and a ton of college teams. If you like shopping, you can spend your money at some of the best indoor and outdoor malls. Stay in downtown Chicago or try some of the various shopping centers scattered across Chicagoland. There are a lot of really interesting and diverse museums in Chicago. Try places like the Field Museum, the Art Institute, the Museum of Science and Industry, and the History Museum. If you're the outdoors type, there are countless parks in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs that have miles and miles of stunning scenery. There's a lot of open spaces for gatherings, entertainment, and hanging out with friends and family. And the food scene here is beyond amazing. From fast food to fine dining, you have food trucks, events, local businesses, chain and high-end restaurants, and of course, pizza. If you haven't had a chance to experience Chicago pizza, it's pretty epic. Now, if you're hanging out, having a good time outdoors in Chicago, there are 2 things that are gonna bug you. Yep, we got bugs and allergens. Watch out for June bugs, stink bugs, mosquitoes, bees, flies, and cicadas. These pests will fly into you, bite you, sting you, and just downright annoy you. And if you haven't heard about the 17-year cicada, it can really feel like you're living in a sci-fi movie during that horrifying year they're around. And that's just the flying types. Don't forget about the uninvited house guests like ants and spiders. Allergy sufferers, beware. The spring through fall months can be a pain. The trees pollinate in the spring, the grass pollinates midsummer, and the weeds typically pollinate at the end of the summer. Then you've got outdoor mold, which starts creeping up in June, but becomes a bigger issue when the leaves start to fall and doesn't really go away until the first frost. So for at least half the year, you're gonna have some type of allergy burden to deal with. Coming to pro number 2, the weather. Us Chicagoans live for the summer. That's where all the action is. And when Lake Michigan starts to warm up, make sure to check out some of the amazing beaches that stretch all the way from the Indiana border to Wisconsin. After summer ends, as sad as it is, you get to experience the fall. The weather gets milder and the leaves change into vibrant colors. Then the winter kicks in and you'll most likely have a snowy holiday season. Skiing and snowboarding hills are not far away in western Illinois and southern Wisconsin. I know a bunch of people that left the Midwest and moved to places like California and Florida, and they all talk about how much they miss the changes of the seasons. But don't kid yourself though, because con number 2 is the same as pro number 2. But wait, you said the weather is a pro. Well, it's also a con depending on what type of weather you prefer. If you really hate the cold, it can get old soon after the new year. You can expect weeks on end of below freezing temperatures where the air literally hurts your face. Get your snow shovel and ice scrapers ready, because you'll be digging out your car in the city and you'll be shoveling your driveway and sidewalks. The spring and fall seasons can sometimes feel like they go by in a month or 2. You might see snow before Halloween and it might not stop until May. As for Chicago's summers, I hope you can take hot heat and humidity. This year, for example, at the start of the summer, we had a drought where it got hot, stayed hot, and it didn't rain for weeks. If you're looking to purchase a house and you care about how your lawn looks, you are going to need to keep up with watering your grass. The humidity can get pretty bad too. There's nothing worse than feeling like you're dying, even though you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt. The only way to escape it is to stay indoors with the AC cranked, which kind of defeats the purpose of enjoying the few months of Chicago summers. Pro number 3 of living in Chicago, the economy. There is so much opportunity for someone who wants to come here and either start their career, maybe move up in what they're doing, or start over and get into something new and different. The Chicago entrepreneurial spirit can even get you motivated to start your own small business. Chicago is an international hub and home to several Fortune 500 companies. There is no shortage of tech jobs and startup companies here. And if you travel a lot, Chicago is centrally located, so you're most likely going to spend less time in the air flying out of O'Hare or Midway Airport. There's also a lot to offer in the medical field, education, the food industry, manufacturing, and things like transportation and logistics. Even though there's a lot of employment possibilities, that brings us to con number 3, the cost of living here. Despite its size, Chicago doesn't rank well in the category of highest paying areas in the US. On top of that, you can expect to pay higher prices for property and rentals. You typically have to move further away from the city, which in turn is going to worsen your commute time. It can be even more unsettling that Illinois has one of the highest local and state tax rates, especially in Cook County, where you'd be looking at a combined tax rate of over 10%. And property taxes are no different. For that reason alone, taxes end up being a really big part of the conversation when people come to Chicago, so we can talk about affordability and finding you the right home in the area you want to live. Pro number 4 is one of my favorite things to talk about, the people. With an estimated 10 million people living in the Chicago metropolitan area, there's a lot of opportunities to get out and mingle with others. Even though Chicago's lifestyle can feel fast-paced, take some time to slow down and talk to other people. Folks here are awesome, and you'll never feel alone. Whether you're just starting out here and trying to establish yourself, or you already have a family, there's a robust number of groups and social circles to fall into. You can get involved in your local community or use social media to find groups. You can visit a farmer's market in the morning, scale a climbing wall at a place like Brooklyn Boulders in the afternoon, and end your day at one of the West Loop's relaxed bars or restaurants. Whatever you're interested in, there's a place here in Chicago for you. Now, because we have a ton of amazing people who work and live here, that brings us to con number 4, the traffic. You can expect to be sitting in traffic on a regular basis during the week and the weekends. It could be 10 a.m. on a Tuesday and you're bound to hit traffic somewhere. It makes sense given the amount of people that work in and around Chicago and the tens of millions of tourists that come here each year, but it will not make sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic any more enjoyable. It doesn't help that highway and road construction can feel unending and will greatly impact how fast you get from point A to point B. Because the winters can turn Chicago into a frozen wasteland, road construction can only happen when the weather allows it to. But hey, you can utilize that time sitting in traffic to vibe out to music or listen to your favorite podcasts. I'll tell you some of my favorite podcasts when we talk about where you're going to live and what your commute's going to look like. One thing you really want to think about when you move here is where you're going to be living in comparison to where you're going to be going on a daily basis. You can save precious hours in the day by planning your living situation accordingly. All right, I gave you 4 pros and 4 cons of moving to Chicago. But again, you got to reach out to me to find that perfect area that you're thinking about living or you want to go see. In order to do that, you got to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. However you want to get a hold of me, I've got your back when moving to the Chicagoland area. And I will see you right back here for the next video.